What is a totally wrong thing that has become so widespread it's not considered wrong anymore? How much material classified as recyclable is, in truth, not recyclable. It's more a marketing win that kept people using plastics. Why else would China stop taking the world's trash? They could do nothing with it but bury it in the ground. Harvesting as much data as possible. You have to go to some extreme lengths to prevent your personal information being sent to random strangers you have never met. For anyone with the aptitude, you essentially set up a tiny PC and route all internet requests through it, then give it a block list. Nothing connected to your network can complete requests to domains on the block list. Phone, PC, smart TV/washer/fridge/ etc., nothing. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw an ad, and it can block anything trying to phone home in the background as well. Web link. Bought a Samsung TV and setting it up required making a Samsung account. They know, by the time you unbox it and place it, that you have really no recourse but to relent and provide your account info. F-king extortion. I created an account in my dog's name for every item I purchase that requires me to provide an email to activate. My dog receives invitations to retirement seminars and assorted other advertisements. Give your pets some fun hobbies and create some crazy data for their customer analytics projects. This is my last Samsung phone because of the things they keep trying to force on me with every update. I make the first name on all my accounts the name of the respective company. So on Amazon, my name is Amazon last name. So if Amazon sells my info and I get a spam email, it will say hello Amazon, and I know they're the ones who sold my crap. Edit. Holy crap, that's a lot of awards. Very cool. Great success. Thank ya. Making terms and conditions overcomplicated and long. Interestingly, because they're so long and dense, there have been several court cases in the US stating that they are not legally binding, since you are not expected to actually read it. Yeah, you can't have any gotcha clauses hidden deep within the boilerplate. Companies have to show that any unusual terms and conditions were communicated in such a way that the consumer knew exactly what they were getting into. I'd respect a company if their terms and conditions were, in 18-point font, by clicking I agree, you are agreeing to not sue this company for any reason, ever. Also, just so you know, we will collect your data and sell it to third parties. Websites selling personal information by default. Spam email. We ignore it, it's just there. But it shouldn't be. I'm surprised robocalls aren't higher in this list. I tack onto this one, paper mail that you never asked for. It's a waste of resources. Been getting magazines, catalogs, advertisements and other solicitations in the mail, and I've never once responded in any fortuitous way to any of them. Who actually indulges in that to inspire that potential return on investment? Really, it should be illegal to mail people trash. Here in Denmark you can just sign up for no commercials, you get a sticker which you put on your mailbox, and they aren't allowed to hand you any. I never get any. Here in Amsterdam, specifically the city, not the rest of the Netherlands, we have switched to I do want commercial stickers. So the default has become no, only if you specifically do want ads you can opt for them, which I think should just be the default everywhere. Edit. Wow, thanks for the responses and upvotes. Was not expecting that. Also, apparently I lied. It's not just Amsterdam but 6 major cities in the Netherlands, so far. Taking pictures of strangers who aren't doing anything wrong or untoward just to post up on social media with some snark or judgment. Being proud of and bragging about a lack of sleep as if it's some sort of virtue. Perfect attendance being celebrated for kids. When my kid is sick, he stays home. He's healthy too. I can't imagine having a kid with a disorder that makes them prone to being sick more often and then not getting some crafty little award for not being in school every day. Kids get sick. It's not wise to send them to school anyway, so they can spread their germs. Plastic everything packaged in more plastic. I work in retail and the amount of plastic and rubbish we get from the stock is horrendous. It's so depressing to see all the time. How Western nations ship their garbage to small Southeast Asian islands and call it recycling. Short-term diet culture. Going to consume nothing but lemonade for a week straight. I definitely know what I'm doing. Got to get rid of those toxins and rejuvenate your cells, girl. Run, toxins are coming out of her. Change your diet. Don't go on a diet. Social media addiction. I can quit any time I want. Closes Reddit, stares blankly at home screen before mindlessly opening Reddit again. I quit Facebook by deleting the app and bookmark. At least that makes a bit of a chore to log in and check it. A job making you seasonal/part-time but works you at least 40 hours every week, never giving you full-time wage or insurance. 39.5 hours every week. I worked at a big box store that would send us home early if we were close to going over the old 39.5. They would also have us take a day off in order to kill overtime if we had stayed late during the week. Taking pictures of random people and turning them into memes. Bosses threatening your job or hours if you call in sick or use vacation time at inconvenient times. Agree. Going to work sick was also one of the accepted wrong things. Hope mindset changed now. Talking on speakerphone while in a public place. Seriously, F you. Or who play their Bluetooth speakers on trails and other natural places, literally the last place people can go to get away from modern noise. This has changed a lot since COVID, I'm assuming, but people going to work when they're sick. Not sure what it's like in the rest of the world, but I feel like in the US we've been conditioned to feel like it's worse to be an inconvenience by not showing up to work than going to work sick, miserable and getting everyone else sick. Edit. Just wanted to add, I am not trying to attack those who can't afford to take time off. I absolutely understand that that's a reality for a lot of people. I get that many times there is no good choice. There are also times where paid sick time is available, but workers are bullied into feeling like they can't take time off or honestly think their place of work can't survive without them. That's BS. Yeah, I remember working in food service and trying to call out sick and the managers arguing with you to come anyway if you couldn't find someone to cover the shift. Theoretically, you could expose not only coworkers, but tons of customers. Great company policy there. Your boss expecting that they can contact you at any hour. I had a pretty good boss who rarely contacted me outside of work hours unless it was important. I work 12 to 8 p.m. and stay up late. At 1 a.m., I get a phone call. Hey, everything okay? I'm really sorry to call. I stayed late to organize the storage closet. And I just locked myself out. I figured you'd be the only person with keys that might be awake. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm clocking you in for an hour for this. Yup. Your manager is awesome. And fair play you for helping out. Apparently he had gotten chewed out by the owner for the storage area being disorganized, so he'd come back after his family went to bed to clean it up. He was a good buffer between ownership and employees. There was a reason I had turned down the management promotion before I hired him. I started adding the phone calls to my timesheet as ought. Never got a call again. Damn, thanks for these awards. Exactly. I don't even feel bad about it. Nor should anyone else. And I only bill in full hour blocks outside of MF 8 to 5. If you don't draw boundaries, then they have zero inclination to observe any. Really wish my wife would get this. Her work is effing horrible with this, and they text all the time about all kinds of meaningless bullcrap. Just stresses her out when she's out of work. Just effing ignore M. You ain't at work, F. That. Noise. Having no regard for your mental health/peace of mind in the name of hustling. Funnily enough, having no work-life balance is flaunted. I've never taken a sick day. Yes, Kathy. I know. From the time you gave me the flu. having to accept cookies for every website. It's made purposefully difficult by companies so you will just accept it. There should be an implicit deny on the browser level that just always blocks cookies outright. Edit. Wording wasn't very good. I obviously know we need cookies for session management and such. I meant an actual system to just deny unnecessary cookies, like tracking and other stuff. And yes, there is a system like that. Not a single website honors it. Using your children to become an influencer. I have an Instagram page where I share play ideas as an educator, but my kids' faces are never in the photos. I don't mention their names either. So many parents with similar accounts are posting daily numerous photos and videos of their kids to thousands of followers and getting them involved in live feeds and stories. We have got a generation of kids who in 10 to 15 years' time will have their entire childhood documented online, and it will all have been done without their consent. Edit. Thank you so much for all the upvotes and awards. I am just glad to see it isn't just me, as Insta seems to be full of oversharing mums. I was beginning to think it is just me who treats my children like they are in the witness protection scheme. Smiley face. Arguments being verbal battles meant to be won. Not they effing aren't. Arguments are discussions with the objective of reaching a truth or consensus. It's not about dunking on your interlocutor or asserting your beliefs over theirs. Cost of higher education. And not just the initial costs. The scam on books is despicable. Well, I'm not sure if it's actually wrong, but needing a few years of experience for an entry-level job just sounds pretty wrong to me. Yeah, companies seem to not differentiate between entry, let's say at most an internship beforehand, and low-level positions, 1 to 5 years experience. Thanks to COVID, I graduated with no internship. Guess I'll be living in my parents' basement for eternity. Honestly, that's just clueless HR workers trying to filter out the noise. No one actually expects entry-level positions to have years of experience, they just do this to reduce their workload by reducing applicants. 30 years ago, job applications was much more straightforward, but also a lot harder. To apply for a job in most places you would have to scour the local paper/job center/recruitment agency for job ads, then either phone them to get more details or post a CV and covering letter to the organization. As such, most people only applied to roles they were serious about trying for, and most job adverts would only elicit a few responses. Nowadays, however, the fact that everything is online means that the barriers to apply for a job are much lower. Anyone can have a stock CV and covering letter ready for any position and just send it en masse to the HR team. Accordingly, HR has spent this time coming up with more and more convoluted ways to make it harder to apply to reduce the candidates they have to look at. As such, they will add lines like minimum 2 years experience of entry-level job, in order to reduce applicant numbers back down to a lower level, either by discouraging otherwise suitable candidates who ignore the role for not meeting the criteria, or by ignoring those applicants when they get too many. Employers expecting employees to check emails while outside of work. Years ago, I had no idea email senders could get notifications if the recipient had received and read the email. I would just check work emails and pretend I never read them until I got back into the office the next day. Then my manager baited me into lying about not reading them. Never checked work emails for real after that. My boss would group text me and the 2 others in our field all the time after 5. Sometimes as late as 9 p.m. I never ever replied, and when asked why, just explained that I'm off the clock at 5, and I'm not being paid anymore. Therefore, I will get to you at 8 a.m. the next morning when I clock in. I was labeled as the lazy millennial, but F it. I have a life, you can't fire me for not answering a text off the clock. Photoshopping and social media. Sure, let me Photoshop myself into a completely different looking person and receive all praise as if it actually validates me. Crimes as long as you have money. And I don't mean that you can pay lawyers or something. Sometimes it just looks that you are just allowed to be a criminal if you just have money. Using your real name on the internet. Pige_on. Pigeon? Pigeon, I. Believing lies because it supports your worldview. Multi-level marketing company groups that target women who peaked in high school or college and lure them to think it'll make them boss babes by harassing their personal connections and contacts about leggings/candle skincare/nail supplements. Oddly specific, yet astoundingly accurate. If I get one more "hey girl" scripted message on Facebook Messenger from some girl who voted me out of a study group or made me do all the work in a class project or took all my pogs away in 5th grade, I'll go crazy. Maybe this is just a me thing, but as someone who is adopted, I am really bothered by adoptive parents who lie to their kids. I think starting your relationship with your child based on a lie is completely wrong, and it will come back to bite you later. Unfortunately, some parents who cannot biologically have children will choose to supplement this by adopting a kid and telling that kid they gave birth to them. This needlessly stigmatizes adoption by making it a shameful secret while also making sure that if this child finds out later in life, they will resent their parents 100% and never trust them again. It's just awful. My parents were completely transparent with me from a really young age and I grew up well. I love my parents and personally have no desire to ever meet my biological mother. Every adopted kid is different, but they all deserve to be told the truth. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.